So your AQA GCSE English Language Paper 1 is coming up fast on Monday. You've got to nail the exam technique, haven't you, son? Oh, anyway, in this video I'm going to give you the crucial tips that are going to increase your chances of getting the grade 9. So stay tuned, because this is Schofield on Shakespeare.
Well, that's the camera's going to be all over the place.
Não diz que sou eu.
To say that time is of the essence in this paper and this section would be an understatement. Here are some possible timings. Press pause if you want to jot these down. It is so tempting to get into an exam hall, know that you have mastered exam technique, and to start writing sooner than you should. Let's be clear, exam technique is bloody useless unless you have fully understood the extracts. In this video, I will refer to the questions and text from the June 2021 past paper. You will get more out of this video if you read or reread the text again. It is about to appear at 4-second intervals.
Question number 1.
Question 1 is intended to be easy and completed quickly. 4 phrases is fine for this question. Remember to write these on different lines if you are typing your response.
Question 2.
With this question, make sure that you refer to the correct section of the text. I've often been surprised how the most intelligent of pupils can write terrific analysis on the wrong section. However, this blunder should in theory be almost impossible to do, given that they reprint and embed the correct section within the question. The mark scheme wants you to be perceptive and detailed. Requoting individual words and exploring meaning and effect in detail can help you with this. How much should you write? I would recommend 3 main paragraphs for both question 2 and 3, each exploring one quotation in detail. Here's an example of a grade 9 paragraph exploring language. Ugwu is clearly stunned by the built-up order of the city, something so different to what he has known in his village. The streets are described as so smooth and tarred that Ugwu itched to lay his cheek down on them. The verb itch implies a physical, incessant urge that annoys who it affects. The use of this verb here shows how Ugwu simply doesn't believe the streets can be so smooth, so much so that he has a physical urge to check. The use of the verb itch also implies that Ugwu is from a rural tribal village where they have primitive roads that are bumpy and potholed, justifying his strong reaction to what the readers are likely to regard as completely normal and unexceptional. And here's the AQA paragraph from the indicative content section of the top band of the mark scheme.
Question 3.
For question 3, you need to explore the structure of the text as a whole. Use the bullet point prompts to help you identify shifts in foci. For example, does the text shift from description to dialogue, or from referencing this person's perspective to exploring another's? Look out for repetition and changes in sentence type, e.g. shifts from rhetorical questions or complex sentence types to much shorter sentences for effect. Look out also for sequencing. Does the author introduce an interesting idea or character before changing focus to explore something else before returning later to help build up a sense of anticipation? Search for and watch this video if you feel particularly unsure or nervous about this question. It is helpful for both OCR and AQA exam boards. It gives you lots of practice on how to identify and explore the effects of different structural devices. It is highly likely that you will make some reference to different sentence types in this question. Make sure you understand exactly the differences between simple, compound, and complex sentences. Here's an extract from a grade 9 response exploring structure. The writer alternates between detailed descriptions of the surroundings and dialogue between Ugwu and his aunt in order to draw attention to Ugwu's astonishment at the differences between the city and his village and to help build up a sense of anticipation. His aunt provides Ugwu with background information about the master as they walk to his house. Indeed, the first thing she tells him is that master was a little crazy. However, the reader has to read 40 lines until this master is directly introduced, which helps increase interest and tension. We want to know why this person is apparently mad. It is also notable that the writer does not use direct speech for this statement, which gives it an air of additional authorial authority. As it appears to be factual rather than an opinion, we are all the more intrigued. The writer continues to delay the presentation of the master to the reader, even after Ugwu and his auntie have entered his room. In line 39, the writer refers to the pair taking off their slippers and describes the room in detail, before eventually describing the master himself. This continues to ensure he remains an object of interest and intrigue for the reader. We are desperate to find out how Ugwu will respond to him, particularly as he seems so overwhelmed and awed by the change of environment from his village to this dazzling city. Here's the AQA paragraph from the indicative content section of the top band of the mark scheme.
Question 4.
For question 4, never just blindly agree. It asks, how far do you agree? So interrogate the question. Agree to some extent to some aspect of the statement, but wonder slightly about another aspect and how true that part is. Feel free to agree to some parts of the statement, or clarify that, for instance, Ugwu's feelings may be more about awe and astonishment rather than excitement, and disagree with others, e.g. the idea that he may be very disappointed. Within the mark scheme, remember that you need to use embedded quotations. Post-quotation, rather than focus purely on meaning and effect, link your analysis to the question. How does this word or phrase slightly affect the way we respond to the statements? Here's an extract from a grade 9 response to this question. Firstly, in line 24, Ugwu nodded attentively after his aunt yet again told him the story of how his good fortune came about. As Ugwu is a 13-year-old boy, you might expect excitement to be portrayed by physical buoyancy, e.g. jumping around and being active. However, the adverb attentively shows that he is paying attention, which may go against the idea that he is excited. Indeed, rather than excitement, there is an increasing sense that Ugwu may be nervous about his future life and role, as he seems to be desperately trying to learn anything to help with his new situation. Similar passivity and stillness is seen in the next paragraph, with him staring at the car in the garage. It is clear that he is not used to seeing pretty, ordered houses and gardens, let alone advanced machines or cars. The impression I have is that he may be awestruck and slowly acclimatizing to very strange, astonishing new surroundings, rather than feeling pure excitement per se. Here's the AQA paragraph from the indicative content section of the top band of the mark scheme, which incidentally I slightly disagree with.
below there. Trust me, your exam's going to go swimmingly. Many thanks for watching Schofield on Shakespeare.